Hey, what's up? I'm back with another rolling commentary video. This time I'm taking on a very, very talented wrestler, Makaulay Lawson. He wrestled for Team Nova Scotia at the Canada Games the summer 2022, and he's been teaching wrestling at my gym Tuesday mornings. Come check it out. So here we go. We start from standing, and you're seeing each other fight for grips. I'm a big fan of 2-on-1 control, 2-on-1 on a wrist grip, 2-on-1 grabbing the wrist and the tricep. Jiu-jitsu and wrestling is one big grip fight. So as we're both fighting for grips, Makaulay shoots for the single leg, but I managed to get out of the way kind of just in the nick of time. And that really actually wasn't even intentional. I was just circling to the right. He just happened to shoot at the right time and he missed. But one thing is I've noticed about training with Makaulay is that wrestlers have a lot of like really good forward pressure. It doesn't really matter if he misses his first attempt because he's just going to keep coming forward. You saw him go for another shot at the leg there. Then I go for his leg and I managed to pick it up. But he's very comfortable defending the situation. As you can see, I pull him forward. I try to lower my level and shoot to the leg as he steps. He almost got away from me, but then I pick it up. And now this is the battle of the single leg takedown. I have to try to put Makaulay to his butt, and he has to try to avoid me from doing that. So you see how he controls my head? He's got my head down nice and low, and he's fighting with his foot. I'm trying to keep it in between my legs, and he's trying to keep it on the outside of my leg. I stepped over to try to adjust, but he knows this position too well and he's able to flip me over. So I have no base out over to my right side. So he drops me to that kind of right corner and drops me off. And then my jiu-jitsu instincts kick in to try to scramble to my knees. And now he's got me front headlock and he spins behind. This is a classic wrestling move that all jiu-jitsu players should be good at. The front headlock, spin behind. I believe it gets you a point in wrestling, and in jiu-jitsu it sets you up really well to start to go for back control. And here, I try to roll to my guard to recover turtle, but Makaulay did a nice job of grabbing a hold of my legs. So I try to fight and control his wrists, because in bottom half guard, you do not want your partner controlling your head and pinning you flat. So I'm able to transition to single leg X. So how did I do that? I was able to get his weight over top of me. Look at where my right knee is, in by his hip. And now I can start to push him across my body and transition to a single leg X guard. Now it's all dependent on his reactions. His hands go to the floor, so I'm looking to enter to the legs. But then he sits back. Watch. He starts to bring his weight forward, so I give him a little extra kick in the butt to get his hands posted, which means his legs are light. So then I'm thinking try to enter into the legs to go for possibly for a leg lock. But then as I tried to do that, he shifted his weight back and brought his hips to the floor. Well, he's kind of sitting over top of me there. So then I had to switch gears and immediately look to go for back control. See how I start to heist up? Now there's back exposure, and I can start to climb for the back control. So as soon as his hips hit the floor, there's no more leg lock. I had to shoot my left knee. As soon as you can see my left knee coming out and kind of around his back there, that means I have a good chance to secure the back control. And right away, I'm looking to control the far wrist. I have the right hook. So as soon as you get one hook, you need to get the far wrist control, because that means you have diagonal control and you have control over your opponent's entire body. Now from here, I'm trying to work the back control and try to knock Makaulay over. But he has a very strong base. Wrestlers will be very strong in this position and tough to knock over, because if you get rolled over or rolled through in wrestling, it's a point. And if you get pinned, that's the end of the match. In jiu-jitsu, you don't have to pin them. You just have to knock them over. And now see, I'm able to start to work the hook in and get the back control. So you just need to knock them over in jiu-jitsu to start to establish your points or threaten submission. Makaulay's doing a good job there, protecting his neck. And here I realize I'm not going to be able to secure the choke. So I switch and try to go to the mount. And that's something everyone should try to get better at, is realizing when your submission isn't going to work, let go and just try to recover the position that you have, hopefully a dominant position. I didn't want to just go for the choke when it wasn't there, so I go to mount. Now I got a chance to go for an armbar. I switch sides, try to go to the other side. I don't feel it's there, so I just go back. So I wasn't able to get my left leg over his face. If I could, I go for the armbar. So I just want to keep the good position that I have, so I try to go back to mount. I'm thinking about switching to the other arm, but Makaulay knows what's coming, so he shifts his weight. So I just try to hold the position. Now I go back to the original arm, and I'm trying to roll him through and flip him over to his back. I really like trying to do that move, that armbar from Turtle. But from here, you can still get the armbar. As he's focused on defending, I'm able to break the grip and get the extension and get the tap. And then we're right back into wrestling again. A lot of pulling on each other's heads in wrestling to try to get each other down. Watch, as I had a good collar tie, Makaulay goes for that underhook, and then he pushes my tie off, and then he gets front headlock. He's just very, very good at these hand fighting battles, and like I said, jiu-jitsu is all a grip fight. Now he tried a little jiu-jitsu there himself. He goes for a choke, but he was leaning back a little bit too far. He wants to try to cover up the back of my neck with his chest and his body. So he's just a little bit out of position there. But I'll show you that one next time, buddy.